Hello everyone, welcome to JavaScript tutorial for beginner. In this tutorial, we are going to see two-dimensional array in JavaScript. Small brief of what two-dimensional array is. So first of all, here I have an image over here to explain you what two-dimensional array is. So here you can see that this is a table for player info here, and this is the player name and this is the player score. Okay. So right now here, in order to print this first name, what do we need to do, or what do we need to write in the index, and that will be 0 0. And how is this? Here we can see the name over here Ashraful is on the 0 index, and here you can see at the top of the name and the score there is 0 and on the left side you can see 0 1 2 3 and 4. So for getting the first name, we need to give the index number 0 and 0. So this index number 0 and 0 will give us the name. And then index number 0 and 1 will give us the score over here. So this one will give us the score, which is 95, 0 and 1. And 0 and 0 will give us the name. Let's just say over here name. So index number 1 and 0 will give us this name, which is Sakib. So here 1 and 0 will give us the name Sakib, and 1 and 1 will give us this value, which is 19. So on index number will give us 19. The same way, the same thing goes for index number 2. Here you can see 2 0 will give us this name, and 2 and on will give us this value, which is 3. Like the same way you will get the 4. And here you will notice that on the right side you can see only 0 and on, 0 1 0 1 0 1, because since this is a two-dimensional array, so we cannot have any value greater than on, so we'll only have 0 and on. But on the left side here you can see 0 1 2 3 4. It can be as any number as it possible. It can be like 7 8 9 10 100, but on the right side this will be always 0 and on. If it's three-dimensional, then it can be 0 1 and 2, but for two-dimensional it will be only 0 and on. So I hope you get the basics. So right now we'll move to the coding section so that you will be more clear about this. So let's go to our code editor, and here in the script let's declare a variable over here. Let's say var, and let's say player info. So inside this variable player info we'll write a two-dimensional array. So in order to write array, we need to give two third bracket, and here indeed with a semicolon. Since this is a two-dimensional array, so we need to write it like this. So inside this two third bracket we'll give another two third bracket. So here first we'll give the name over here. Let's say name will be John, and after the name we'll give the score over here. Let's say here 45. So after this we'll give a comma over here. Then let me just copy this, and here we are going to say, let's say Adam, and his score is, let's say 75. Then again comma, and here we are going to say Sam, and let's just give one more. Let's over here Yamin, and his score is, let's say 55. So right now here you can see how we can write the three-dimensional array. Inside the two third bracket we give multiple third bracket, and inside every third bracket we have two data over here. So right now let's make it in a way so that you can understand it more clearly. So let's write it like this. So I hope this is more clear to you right now. So this is two-dimensional array. So in order to print any value over here, how do you print it? So in order to print it, what we have to do is that let's over here console.log, and we'll give to first bracket. Then here let's say we want to print John. So in order to print John, here as the image suggests us, in order to print the first name over here the index was 0 0, right? So here we are going to say over here First we'll mention this player info name over here, then we'll give to third bracket, okay. So we'll see over here 0 and 0, so this will print John. So right now let's save it and let's go to our browser. Let me just refresh and let's go to our console. So I'll just right click over here, click inspect, and then I'll go to over here this console part. If you click console, here you can see John. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Here you can see John. So right now let's say you want to print these values. So for it, what you have to do is that we'll just copy this, then paste it here. We'll say 0 on. So 0 on will print this value over here, as I already showed you in the picture over here. Here you can see 0 and on will represent this value, which will be 0 on. So here if you say 0 on, then save it, then refresh here. Here you can see John and the value 45. Now let's say you want to print this on. So for it, let me just copy this and paste it here, and for this one it will be on 0 and on. Let me just show you the picture again. Here you can see on and 0, on and on. Here you can see on 0, on. So right now if we save, then if we refresh here, here you can see we got all the names over here. So right now it's not possible to write all the console.log for every data. What if we have 100 data over here? It's not logical to write console.log for every data. So for it, what we can do is that we can use for loop to print those data. But since this is two-dimensional array, we need to use two for loop in order to print them. So first of all, let's say over here for, let's declare variable I equal to 0, and here we'll say I smaller than. Here you can see that we have 1 2 3 4 data, so we'll say I smaller than 4, and then we'll say I plus plus, then we'll give to second bracket. Since I already mentioned we need to use two for loop, and we need to use two for loop, another for loop inside this for loop. So right now let's say again for, we'll say var j is equal to 0. I'll explain this, don't worry. And here you can see that we have total number of 4 data, and here you can see in the two third bracket we have total number of 2 data. So j cannot be greater than 2, so we'll say j smaller than 2, and then we'll say j plus plus, and we'll again give to second bracket. So right now let me just write one more line, then I'll explain. So here we'll say console.log to first bracket, and here we're going to say player info, then give to third bracket. So inside the first one we'll say we'll say I, and inside the second one we'll say j. So let me now explain. So first of all, inside this for loop, first of all it will come over here and it will see I equal to 0. Then it will come over here, it will see j is equal to 0. So here, then it will go over here and the value will be 0 0. So it will print John. So it's still in the for loop. So then in this for loop it will go, the value of j will become on, since we write over here j plus plus. So then it will print 0 and on. I value is still 0. Okay, 0 and on. So after that the value of j will be 2, so this condition will be false. So then it will go back to over here. So this time the value of I will be on, and then it will come over here and the value will be on 0, then it will be 1 on. So like this it will print all the name over here. So right now if we now save it, then if we just refresh our browser over here, here you can see all the names over here. So this is how you can print all the names in two-dimensional array. So I hope you have clear concept on two-dimensional array. So if you have any question or if you face any problem, you can let me know in the comment section. And I will really appreciate if you subscribe this channel. Thanks again for watching. I will see you in the next JavaScript tutorial.